We had a really good question today that we're going to devote this When Wellness video to, and that was, if I'm somebody that typically fasts, but I have to do a morning workout, and I still want to have my protein and my carbs after my workout, what should I do? Well, we have a few options here, right? Either you can have BCAAs right before the workout, branched chain amino acids, to reduce the risk of amino acid catabolism. That's your muscles getting broken down during the strenuous activity through the workout, because you probably, if you're a frequent intermittent faster, you haven't eaten for at least those 8 hours you were hopefully sleeping, and probably for a few hours before that. And if you haven't eaten within 2 hours or so up to the workout, at least safely 2 hours, well then you might be going into amino acid catabolism. You might want some more protein for your workout to fuel those muscles and to support muscle growth and to help reduce the risk of your body breaking them down when it gets through all of the glucose, in the absence of oxygen, of course, right? So you can do that, and then you can fast throughout the rest of the day, so you can still eat your meal later in the day, whether it's the afternoon or whatever, hopefully not too close to bed, whatever you do, that window that you typically eat in, you can have later in the day. So you can do that. You just have BCAAs before that morning workout. Or you could say, okay, look, I'm looking to be in ketosis, because that was their goal. They want to stay in ketosis, right? Fat burning mode. And so you don't have to fast to do that. That's one way to get into ketosis. And we know that when you get to 18 to 24 hours of fasting, you're in that real sweet spot deep into ketosis, much deeper than you are at, say, 14 hours or 16 hours, right? So if you can get to 18, that's great, right, in general. Now, for a premenopausal female in their reproductive years, you wouldn't want to be going longer than 18 hours with a fast, because it could cause fertility issues, and you could have irregular periods and all sorts of hormonal issues and things that we definitely wouldn't want to deal with. So I never recommend fasting for more than 18 hours for women, right? At least those that are not postmenopausal. Right? Not as big of an effect for them. Now, if you don't want to fast, what you can do, you want to be in ketosis, you can still eat right after that workout. You could have protein and your carbs right after, right? I recommend getting the majority of carbs right after your workout to optimize body composition. Then you can eat super frequently throughout the day, say every 2 hours, eating about your body weight to 120% of your body weight in grams of protein, and focusing, keyword here is on fats, right? Fats, to stimulate fat burning. You eat more fat, you burn more fat, right? And we look especially for unsaturated fats. A great example of something you can have that people typically would think will make you fat, but really will promote fat burning, that has a lot of calories, right, and tons of fat, is extra virgin olive oil. I have a shot of that every day, but it actually is associated with weight loss, is having a shot of extra virgin olive oil every day, right? And reduces your risk for all-cause mortality by 16%. It's great. Those monounsaturated fats are healthy for your brain, healthy for your heart, great for you, loaded with antioxidants, right? So eating a lot of healthy fats, protein frequently throughout the day, meeting that protein mark. That would be more important than exactly how much you were having around the time of your workout. You just want to make sure you have ample amounts, that you're not breaking down muscle, right? And so the recommendation for BCAAs at a minimum is 91 milligrams per pound of body weight. You can do that math in a day, right? So I think if somebody was like 200 pounds and they had 20 grams of BCAAs before that workout, boom, go ahead. You'll probably get back into ketosis after if you had a really hard workout. And then throughout the rest of the day, you will be coasting until you hit your fast, right? And having something like Super U in the morning would be great to help you to have energy and focus the whole day without having to eat, right? But even if you don't want Super U, you should be just fine, right? And you can have things like black coffee or black tea, things of that nature while you're fasting, or squeeze some lemon in your water. Now, you can also do something kind of in the middle here where you can keep the fast but not eat later in the day, right? So what you could do is you can say, okay, I have my morning workout. I'm just going to change my window. I'm just going to do my workout, have my protein and carbs right after, and in the form of a big meal preferably, right? Like say 2 steaks and a bag of lentils, quinoa, and brown rice, like something of that nature, right? I like a spoonful of honey right after the workout too. Get those simple carbs and go right to the muscles, replenish glycogen stores. All right, so you could have something like that, and you could eat all your food within the same window that you typically have later in the day, just earlier, right? So you could do that and then just fast, cut the window off earlier in the day you normally would, and fast through and try and hit the same amount of hours. So those are some different approaches you can take to that topic. You don't have to intermittent fast to be in ketosis. Some key takeaways from this video: you don't have to intermittent fast to being ketosis. When you look at protein, look at how much you're getting in a day more than how much you're getting in one sitting. While on that topic, actually, if you eat, say, 80 grams in a sitting, did you know you can actually absorb all that over time at least, right? Your stomach's main function is storage, and it's going to stimulate the release of CCK, cholecystokinin, from the pancreas. That's going to delay gastric emptying, delay the release of the food contents into your small intestine, right? And so your body actually can absorb that. I said 80 because it's been proven in human trials, right, to be a true fact. So it's a myth that you can't have all this protein at once in you. Yeah, I'm not going to absorb more than 40 grams, 20 grams. Yeah, that's been debunked, okay? So those are some big takeaways, and focus on healthy fats, right? Healthy fats, fish, like fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, tuna, herring, sardines, anchovies. We're like a broken record here when we're always saying that, this sort of stuff, right? Eggs are absolutely fantastic source of protein. They have one of the, I think it's ovalbumin is the type of protein in them, as opposed to whey, the primary source we get from animal sources, and they're both great forms of protein. Ovalbumin might be even superior, right, in terms of absorption amino acid profiles, but they're pretty much stacked head to head. So those are absolutely both fantastic sources. Eggs, meat, fish, right? Don't be afraid to have that grass-fed beef, 100% grass-fed beef. If you could go a little bit leaner, that would be awesome, because we say, oh, I want to eat a lot of fat though. Well, yeah, you do, but it'll help you meet your protein mark. The fat isn't the devil there, the saturated fat, but it's not necessarily the best type of fat for us, right? There's no correlation, albeit there's no correlation between saturated fat and taking heart disease. We would prefer those healthy, unsaturated fats, and things like omega-3s and those monounsaturated fats that we're getting from extra virgin olive oil, fats from, nuts and seeds and things of that nature. So avocado is a great source of fat as well, right? So that is what we got for you guys. I think in terms of body composition, it's good to focus on a lot of meat, but you can't skip out on your leafy greens. They're full of micronutrients you're not getting when you have just the meat, right? And you want things like berries and don't skip, and hemp seeds and flax seeds and chia seeds. All these things are great. You could throw some ginger in there, some lemon. So how can I get all that if I'm still pretty much keto? Well, you don't have to be fully keto. Just right after the workout, take all the foods I just mentioned, pop them in a blender, right? Those leafy greens, those berries, and some of those seeds, right? Some ginger, some lemon. You can throw some kefir in there. Those are a lot of carbs in there, right? They're all low on the glycemic index, right? But there's still carbohydrates plus some protein. It could be in the form of yogurt. You could put scoop away in there. You could put an egg white protein in there. All sorts of stuff like that together would be good right after the workout. And then focus on healthy fats throughout the rest of the day. So hope that answered your question, my friend. That's what we got for you guys. Try and apply it to your daily routine. I promise you will see a difference in body composition, especially if you are working out frequently. Let's see what we got on here. Say hi to the people. I'm going to go eat myself. Eric Thomas, what am I going to eat? If you guys guess exactly what I'm going to eat, I'll give you a free super you if somebody guesses it. Avamar Shabalov, Jay Wheat, Joe Hoare, Post Trager, but it's got to be by the time I say hello to everybody, because then I'm going to go eat. South Roberts, Jeremy World, Coco, Stony Brook Chiropractic. Hello, my friend. Denise Brito, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Giuliano. Jermaine Sorb, Real Tajani. Rhonda, first one. How you doing, girl? What's up? And Mike A. Marr, as for now. So we got for you folks. We'll see you tomorrow, baby. Not sure where, not sure when, but we'll see you then. Have a great one. Thanks a lot. Happy When Wellness. What we are going to eat, nobody guessed it, is 2 bags of wild-caught scallops and a bag of 7 grains. That's got quinoa, brown rice, lentils, all that good stuff. Durum, I think, is in there. So, what up, Dion? See you later. Have a good one, guys. Thanks.